Wonderful. So, morning everyone. Thank you for those that have joined on the session today, and good morning for anyone sort of watching on repeat later on. So today we're going to be looking at two major risks that are affecting UK property owners right now, and that's flood exposure and incorrect rebuild values. Both are increasing, affecting lending, affordability and the suitability of clients' insurance arrangements. My goal today is just to give you some practical tools to help you protect your clients and strengthen that advice process. So before I kick off, I'll just introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Shelley Harmer. I'm the Business Development Manager here at Everywhen. Everywhen, you may be thinking, who's that? Never heard of you before. So Everywhen is actually the brand new name for Barclay Alexander and Towergate. So we have a new name, new website, but everything else remains the same, and that is including your old login details to the previous Barclay Alexander website. You can use them the same. So at Everywhen, our goal is simple. It's just to make general insurance easy and profitable, and we specialise in all areas of general insurance, as you can see listed here. It's everything from your standard covers, your non-standard high net worth, property owners of any type, accident, sickness and unemployment, and commercial insurance. If you do want to know about more in detail about any of those areas, then please do let me know. We can have one-on-one sessions, or we can always arrange with Moham for a group session as well. If you're not already registered with us, do look to sign up at the end of this session or at a later stage if you're looking at this back. The link to the brand new website is on the website there, and these slides will be shared with you so you can refer back to them afterwards. So if we kick off, so as I've said, flooding and underinsurance are mainstream risks, and today's aim, as I said, is all about giving you practical steps to help protect your clients before the worst happens. And hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have an understanding of the growing impacts of flood risk, explain what flood flash is and how it can support your commercial clients, recognise the scale of underinsurance within the UK, and help your clients to proactively protect their properties. So flooding in the UK is growing. 6.3 million properties in just England alone are at risk of flooding. That's every 1 in 6 properties. It's no longer just about rivers bursting. Surface water is becoming a much bigger issue. Surface water is unpredictable, and as you can see from the stats here, the exposure is only going to increase. And what these changes actually mean for your clients is that potentially some of your clients who have never experienced flooding previously are now having flood events, and this results in insurers tightening their terms as well. So what's the actual real world impact of flood to your clients? Flood claims aren't just expensive, but they're slow, and clients can be out their property for months, and all of this can cause a lot of financial strain for your clients. And what sometimes you will find is that many insurers will either exclude flood entirely or offer terms that clients perhaps can't afford, or really high sort of exclusions of high excess amounts. What's really important, firstly, is that you approach insurers that actually understand the flood risk exposure and they're able to give terms. This is what we call sort of deemed within the non-standard insurance world. And at Everywhen, we can assist with these properties. So we do have a wide range of insurers that specialise in flood exposure. And that's also for clients that actually have a BT postcode. We know in the past that those clients with BT postcode have really struggled in this area, and we are now able to assist. We have, again, a wide range of insurers that can quote. But I will say on the BT postcode clients, these ones do have to be referred to us because we actually utilise our Northern Ireland Everywhen office to support these clients. So those ones do need to be referred, just to let you know. So we're always trying to find ways to offer you guys more support and to be able to protect clients when difficult times such as these arise. And then what we're able to do, what's come brand new to us, and this really is brand new. We only had our training about a week ago. So I'm offering it to you. You're pretty much the first people to hear about this. And it is a brand new modern solution for your commercial clients. So introducing you to Flood Flash, which in short is a rapid payout for businesses and landlords with properties of any size. Now, I'm going to play this video and I'm really hoping that this is going to work. So let's find out. Michael, because I can see you. Can you give me a thumbs up if that played, if you heard that? Or Mohan, did that work? Did everyone manage to hear that? Okay. Hopefully you did. I'm not hearing responses, but if yes, it did. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Kevin. Just wanted to check it did. You can obviously, when the slides come out, you can replay that. But okay, thank you. Always good to know these things work. You can never quite tell, but I'm pleased it did. So just to sort of capitalize on sort of what that video was showing you there. So Flood Flash uses a smart sensor installed at the property. They can come out within 14 days to fit the sensor, and it's actually the client that selects the location of the sensor. It just needs to be above ground level and it needs to be fixed to a permanent structure. The triggers and payouts are completely customizable and are chosen at quote stage, so we can actually give you different levels, up to 3 levels to pick from as well. So when the flood water actually reaches the pre-agreed depth, the sensor notifies the Flood Flash team a claim is opened, and then the policy pays the agreed amount regardless of the actual damage. So there's no loss adjuster visits, and recovery can get underway instantly, helping the business to open faster, which at the end of the day is going to be a game changer to those businesses. So it really is as simple as that. No complications, hits the depth level, payout agreed, and then your client can actually put that money towards the recovery cost, and if there's anything actually left over, they can utilize that money wherever they need to, whether it be in stock and contents, whatever they need to do. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper just into the actual tech part and what makes the solution so smart and innovative. I can never say that word, but you get what I'm saying. So the sensor actually uses sound waves to measure how much water is in the sensor, and it actually gives a millimeter accurate view of the flood depth at the property. And then it sends the data to Flood Flash's HQ via the mobile networks. If there is flooding at a sensor, they will get the data literally in seconds. So I'm going to throw out a question to you so you can jump off mute if you like to have a guess at this. So can you guess what is the quickest time that it took Flood Flash to settle a claim? Anyone want to have a guess? What's that quickest time? 10 minutes. Okay, it's not quite as quick as but it is still really quick. So that quickest time was 3 hours and 50 minutes. So literally under 4 hours from notifying, so from the sensor reporting back to Flood Flash to the actual money being in the client's bank account. So under 4 hours, which if you can imagine how insurance policies normally works and payouts, it's a really, really rapid, quick turnaround time. So also in terms of the sensor, what's really great about it is it doesn't require any external power and lasts up to 10 years. The sensor is tested in storm and flood conditions, so we know that it works. It also has a memory chip, so if the networks do go down, the sensor doesn't stop recording, and when the networks recover, the sensor data with all the historical data is sent back to Flood Flash HQ, so not a single reading gets missed. And it is also fault resistant as well. So why am I telling you all this, and what does it actually sort of mean for you as an option to consider for your clients? So if we actually think back to the previous slides on the impacts that flood actually has on your clients and the struggles that they may have in terms of obtaining terms that includes flood cover, or just even the strain, financial strain, that if a flood occurs, what that actually means in terms for your clients. So the Flood Flash provides certainty and speed. So it's a real strong risk mitigation tool for your advice process and helps you demonstrate customer duty as well by proactive risk management. So it really is something to consider. Okay, you can come to us if your clients are existing clients with Everywhen already, or you can come to us if they are not existing clients. So there will be a fee charged if they are not an existing client. If they are an existing client, then there won't be. So do start having a think about this and getting in contact with us should you need help. So now we're going to move on to our sort of second portion of our session today, which is where we're going to talk about underinsurance. So this is one of the biggest risks that your client faces, and actually the majority of the time they don't even realise it. So did you know that 93% of properties in the UK are actually insured for the wrong amount? So this means that most property owners are unknowingly exposed at claim time. So actually of that proportion, 70% of those properties are underinsured. So that can really, really leave your clients massively short if a major loss actually occurs. So underinsured properties are actually covered on average for just only 63% of what they should be. So that just shows you the scale of how bad the situation can be. And then on the other hand, if your clients are actually over insured, then your clients could be paying higher premiums, which is completely wasted spend. So this is why underinsurance is one of the biggest risks that affect both residential and commercial clients. And it's actually commercial clients that are hit the hardest, with 71% being underinsured and 23% being over. So for business clients, being underinsured can mean inability to rebuild after a flood or a fire, or forced closure of their business. They could also face lender issues if insurance doesn't meet the mortgage conditions. So can anyone guess the top 5 property types most likely to be underinsured? Again, pop it in the chat or pop yourselves off mute, see if you can have a guess of the top 5. Anybody? Right to that. Yeah. So within our top 5, thank you so much for having a go there, Kevin. So at the top 5 property types is nursing and care homes, health centres and GP surgeries, pubs and licensed premises with hotels, offices and schools. So that's your top 5. So lots of your clients potentially may fall under that. So really need to be thinking about how you can protect them. But it's not just commercial clients. As you can see here, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. As you can see here, it's residential clients that are affected too. So you have 68% are underinsured and 25% overinsured. So again, just sort of re-highlighting that, as I say, 93% properties are insured for the incorrect amount. So if we think if an insurer does apply the average clause, claims could be reduced dramatically. And the question that you need to be asking your clients is, could they actually afford to cover the difference if that claim is reduced? And that's the key takeaway that we really need to be thinking about. So the question is, why are so many clients underinsured? So clients often confuse market value for the rebuild cost. So we have to remember a rebuild cost is the cost to build the property from scratch. So that includes your professional fees, demolition fees, labour and materials. So it is different from your market value. Labour shortages and rising construction costs are inflating rebuild costs. And actually, rebuild costs increased by 35 to 40% between 2020 and 2025. So, meaning any valuations that are older than 3 years are no longer reliable. And what you'll find as well is if your clients are having renovation work done, even modest renovations can increase a rebuild cost by tens of thousands. But clients rarely update their policies to reflect this. So you always need to be thinking, if you're aware that your clients have done renovations, extensions, that they do need to have the rebuild cost looked at again and update insurers. So what's the impact of your clients if they do in fact suffer for a major loss? So as I said before, an insurer could apply the average clause, and that can dramatically reduce a claim payout. So for example, if you're underinsured by 50%, they can actually, in terms of a claim settlement, reduce that claim settlement by 50%. They are able to do that. They have the right to do that. In some circumstances, if it's so greatly underinsured, they may close down the claim and not go ahead with it completely. And again, you always need to be thinking of, how would that impact my client if it happens to them? So clients may not even have enough then to rebuild the property, and the clients may default if they can't actually fully recover financially. So it is real big risks there that we need to be thinking about. And you also need to think as well that lenders expect insurance to cover the full reinstatement. So underinsurance puts both the client and the lender at risk. So let's talk about what the solution can be and how you can support your clients. So it's really important, as I say, if your client hasn't had a valuation in the last 3 years, that they now have one done. Now, with us at Everywhen, we can provide you with access to professional assessments, which is carried out by rebuildcostassessment.com. We do shorten that to RCAL because it's a mouthful to read otherwise. So the assessments are mostly done via desktop. There are only some occasions where they need to come out to see the property. That's sometimes if the property is historical or grade listed, but the majority of the time it would just be desktoped. It is affordable when you do it through us. It's actually only £63 through us, which would be a highly reduced rate if you would go to them directly or find anyone else potentially that's coming out of the site and charging a lot more. RCAL are RICS aligned, and they actually support a lot of insurers in terms of giving education around underinsurance. What they will do is provide your client with a full report. Okay, that will provide them with an accurate sum insured so they can update their insurers with that accurate amount. So it's going to reduce that risk dramatically, and it's actually then valid for the next 3 years for the client as well. So they have some peace of mind before they need to be thinking about it again. And this is really essential, again, for your consumer duty and demonstrates your good customer outcomes. So when is the right time to think about when your client may need that rebuild assessment? as I say, absolutely, if they haven't had one done in the last 3 years, if they renovated or extended their property, or if you're aware just within that area that construction costs have increased. So without doubt, you don't need to guess at rebuilds or sort of just make estimates. Utilize these assessments to really give that confidence to your client to know that they are properly protected and they're not going to be impacted by that average clause. So the key message to take away from today is that these risks are real and they are growing and they do affect your clients. So flood flash is a solution that gives that rapid payout and actually supports in terms of the insurance side and gives that sort of extra protection and that nice payout where they can utilize that money instantly to get their business back up and running as quickly as possible. And you have your rebuild assessments to give practical tools and protection to your clients in knowing that they're actually insured for that correct amount. And at the end of the day, this is what Everywhen is here to do for you, is to give you that extra support. So these are products that go alongside insurance products, and it's that extra bit of support that you can give to your client and utilize us. This is the whole point as to why we're here as your specialist provider. For the times when things do become complex and complicated, this is what we're all why we're here, is to help support you and guide you and better protect your clients. So thank you so much for listening and fire away at your questions for me. Any questions from anyone? I'll throw it out there then. So are you sort of finding that your more clients are actually in that flood risk area when they haven't been before? Have you noticed an increase in that? Just have a look at that question you're given, sorry. Yes, we will look at buy-to-let in the area. Yes. Yep. So it is for your businesses and landlord properties with the flood flash. Unfortunately, it's not available for residential for your homeowner properties, but for all businesses and landlords, yes, we can have a look at that for you. Any other questions? Oh, Kevin, you're typing. Would we look at areas that have subsidence? Yes, we would. So obviously that's aside sort of from what we're talking about at the moment, but yes, we can help with properties that have subsidence. So we do specialise in all forms of non-standard insurance. That could be properties that are grade listed, unusual construction, subsidence. Obviously, as we've spoken about, those that are in that flood risk area. We can look at unoccupied properties, properties having renovation works carried out. All forms of non-standard, absolutely. Any questions from anyone else?
Shelley, that's been extremely helpful. I'm very grateful.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael. You're very welcome. Hopefully it is perhaps highlighting some areas that you weren't previously aware of and that it does give you solutions. So we're not just firing some bad news at everyone and saying, oh, these are terrible things that are happening and can't do anything about it. Hopefully we're coming up with those solutions to have you thinking that, yes, if I do have clients that do struggle in these areas, that this is how you can best support them.
Great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael.
Great, thanks, Shelley. That was very informative. Thank you very much. We will definitely share this with the rest of the team. So
Wonderful.
appreciate that. Yeah.
And if anyone wants to talk about any of the other areas that we specialise in, as I say, or find out more about these, and certainly getting your quotes for your flood flush, I can't say it now, flood flat, it's hard to say, try saying it 10 times, and of course for your rebuild, that one's so important to get those over to us. So brilliant. Thank you so much for everyone that's come on board. And if anyone is watching this thereafter and has questions, then please do get in contact.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.